Hi viewers, hi friends, how are you? How was your day? Me good, all good. One thing I started experiencing when I was with my master, that I am falling silent and silent and silent day by day. So my communications with my master, particularly the verbal communication, was reducing. And I very well remember those moments when I used to be at least some 100 meters away from my master. And still both of us used to talk. And he used to fire a lot of questions to which I used to answer. All the communication mental. Now wherever I am living right now, as you can see me, the communication between my master and myself is still mind to mind, mental communication. See, communication is a great art. Love is a communication that we are not two, we are one. Similarly, the communication has many facets. Whenever I go into meditation, and in fact, I'm in the stage of continuum meditation, so I keep on listening, and that too in a very sober manner, many new things which I know also, or maybe I don't know also. So what happens, when your mind reaches and crosses all the stages of time and space and reaches to Brahmaloka, all the great powers like Raman Maharshi, Mahaswami, Chinmayanand, my own Param Shri Sadguru Sir, they are also present there. And the communication establishes between yourself when you have reached to those heights and levels and these great masters. I normally find people in the age of 22 to 24, 25 and even much later, most of the time they are wasting or utilizing whatever you want to say in communicating just the garbage to the garbage holder. Sometimes they will talk about some girl, sometimes they will talk antisocial, and that is how they spend their time and life. There is a song whose few lines I am reciting. लड़कपन खेल में खोया, जवानी नींद भर सोया, बुढ़ापा देख कर रोया, यही किस्सा पुराना है, सजन रे झूठ मत बोलो, खुदा के पास जाना है, न हाथी है न घोड़ा है, वहां पैदल ही जाना है. So between masters and the disciple, the communication ultimately becomes mental. If the master is truly placed at the is truly realized master, so communication becomes mental, and that mental communication later on goes to such an extent that you almost stop talking, and that is what happens to me in my office. I hardly talk to people, but I know my work, whatever the work is, and keep on communicating only with the meaningful persons. And don't stand anywhere like in pawn shops, chai shops and whatever. If I feel like having anything, then I simply ask the boy who lives with me, and he is like my son. I consider him very dear to me, though my own person. I don't have any children, whatever, but I understand fully well, and I have realized that he is also the son of the God, and so I give him full freedom, and not only full freedom but full support also in whatever he is trying to do. And meaningfully speaking, he is doing a splendid job for my house and for my personal needs to the extent that I really don't have to even think for them. And this is administration. I have seen many parents advising to their wards so many things: speak truth, learn regularly, study regularly, don't live like that, don't do this, don't do that. It always fails because you yourself are saying it, not meaning it. By way of saying that you are not meaning it, what happens that you yourself haven't done. Now the important factor of life is that our most of the communications are mental. You may not know that, you may not appreciate that. But as you go on higher and higher up in the stages of meditation, then you come to realize that mostly our mind is always active, whether we are speaking or not. So our mental waves are getting propagated in the cosmos. And depending upon the quality of the mind and your conversation that is transpiring through your mind without your knowledge or with your knowledge, and that establishes and that determines your fate also, and determines your course of action also. Your own thoughts are propelling you to take certain actions, and most of the time I find that the thought level and thought process of people is so worse that they just think of atomic war, like Pakistan these days very regularly says, "Hum atomic mamalik hain, pata nahi kya hai." Don't tell, na. Don't repeat. So our communication is mostly mental. And in mental communication, the quality of mental communication, the quality of mental thoughts, the quality of your ideas starts having meaning. So if you think rightly, you speak rightly. If you work rightly, you think rightly. When you think rightly, you speak rightly. And when you speak rightly, your words are heard by all persons, including your wards, your children, and soon if you are in the habit of first doing it and then saying it, then even if you have not communicated your son or daughter verbally, you can find out soon the habits of your son or daughter or wards in the house starts changing towards positive side. The only reason behind this is very simple, because whatever you are doing is being mentally communicated to your words, even if you are not verbally communicating. And you will automatically find a change in the habits of persons. Persons who come close to me, I have n number of times noticed that they feel change in their attitude and their mindset. They themselves say it. So the art of learning is the mental communication. Because wherever I am living is at least some 700 kilometers away from the place where I carried out my sadhana and met my master. But as I said that the consciousness does not have any dimension of at least time and space. Whatever he wants to communicate reaches to me immediately. Through Brahma, through consciousness, not through time and space. Thoughts don't travel through time and space. Thoughts travel through pure consciousness or semi-consciousness. When the thoughts are originating from pure consciousness, then they are the most benefiting. They are like moksha. And when the thoughts are emanating from partially conscious mind, they are garbage. I cannot put a lid on anybody's head so that he stops thinking. But let me tell you, once I was reading to the website of Spiritual Science Research Foundation (SSRF), and those people are doing wonderful work in the field of spirituality, spiritual habits. You should read them. So, as I read in Spiritual Sciences Research Foundation, and that is my experience also, the thoughts in your mind determine your destiny. SSRF clears that a world war is likely between 2017 to 2024. Do you know the real reason of this world war? It is not that we have piled up the stock of weapons, and particularly nuclear weapons. It's never that. It is going to be an outcome of hatred, jealousy in our mind over past so many years after the Second World War, that people of different segment on earth, people from different countries have been thinking very negatively about some of the persons. There are no two countries who are true friend, and in some cases or in other cases also, a web of negative communication is covering the entire stratosphere. And even above that, what I mean to say is, a web of negative communication has enveloped the earth. And this web of negative communication is creating thoughts in the minds of the leaders of various countries like China, Pakistan, America, even to some extent India, that we should carry out war. And day by day, the incidences of warlike situations between different countries is increasing. You must have seen Sanjay in during Mahabharata course, where Sanjay is transpiring the entire Gita to Dhritarashtra, what Lord is transpiring to Arjuna. Some people say that Sanjay was seeing the Lord actually. Actually, it is again the case of mental communication. Very few people know this, that Sanjay was one such fellow who was the first person to go to the court of Kauravas for a truce between Kauravas and Pandavas, and for a satisfactory division of land so that even Pandavas can survive. After that, Sri Krishna went over there. So it is mental communication, and mental communication is the communication which is more prevalent, much more prevalent. But if you really want to receive right results in your life, good results in your life, positive results in your life, then first do it, then they will come to your thoughts, and once they have come to thoughts, they will change the environment towards positivity. And if you don't do it, then whatever amount of speech and gospel you carry and you shower on your wards, children, or consider a school teacher teaching children, nothing will be heard, nothing will be received. So, mind first thing, communication between most of us is mental. Few people know it, very few people who have taken up themselves to higher and higher domain know that okay, right now I am communicating mentally with this and that and this and that. In fact, Srimad Bhagavad Gita was almost entirely transpired to me by my master mentally only, because most of the time which I spent in meditation for Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I spent in the place where I work, and master was not physically living here, but mentally he was very much with me, and he still is. So it is a great art of living, mind-to-mind communication, great art of living. Swami Vivekananda pointed out that had we been thinking positively for each other, the humanity, the entire human race, as of now, would have gone too much ahead of what we are right now, thinking of war and thinking of killing people. So, first do, then think, then whether you speak it or not, it will be transpired. Sometimes people say, what you are doing for the world, because they basically find me only going to the office. Though there are a good amount of donations, lectures and so many other things, the activities which I cover. And I fail to make them understand what I do. But what I do really for the humanity and entire world is to pray with the God for the well-being of all. Now, it is a delicate technique to pray to the God. Very delicate technique. It is an artistry. You cannot dictate. So, my communication with the Lord is mental. And since I pray for so many things, so many times, I really don't remember what comes to my mind and what I pray to the Lord when I am alone. That amount of communication is with the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna, is affecting the world. So in order to influence the world order, I need not go outside of my house. I go outside of my house only to keep myself away from getting bored. So take your mind to those levels where it really transpires positive mental vibes in the universe, and then you will automatically get your goal and prestige and love. And if you are not doing it and you are mentally thinking negative for the persons, for the humanity, for the world people, for the people of your nation, you will really slowly become ineffective, and your existence will be overlooked by the other, even if you physically exist. So existence and positive mental communication go hand in hand. One more thing I said in my initial lectures, that it is the consciousness of a person that develops love in your heart for him or her, and vice versa as well as. Radha was some 11 years older than Sri Krishna, and in some other accounts it is 17 years. Still, the pairing between Radha and Krishna is worshipped. Goddess Sita was also, as far as my knowledge goes, some 14 years younger to Lord Rama. So what is basically transpiring in these two relationships is they are committed to the level of consciousness of the persons who are being liked. There were other kings also which were present in the court of Raja Janak when the Sita Swayamvara was taking place, and they all were much more better decorated than Lord Rama. But why Goddess Sita chose Rama was the establishment of mental communication between them. Which was not the level of consciousness of other kings. They were totally inertial mind. Don't take the burden upon yourself of having an inertial mind. That is a great pain, and you bear it throughout your life. Go to the masters, serve to them, immolate yourself, and come out of it like pure gold. I have a boy who is very fond of me, and I am very fond of him, Prashanta. He says, whenever I think of you, I immediately get to know something which is very helpful to me. I personally don't really try to establish a communication, but my mind is already lying in that zone where somebody without or with my knowledge can communicate with me and he will get the answers. So in my today's lecture, I actually was concentrating on the art of communication and how to make it effective. And by prayers you can benefit the entire world, but either you yourself should be Brahmadarshi or your master to which you are committing everything should be Brahmadarshi. Similarly, let us come to administration. Sun is enlightened and it has a bondage with all other planets including Earth, Jupiter via gravitational force and gravitational pull. Similarly, an office, an area, a system is put to order only by having an enlightened person at the top. Rest all automatically get pulled up towards the CEO of the company automatically. If his conscious level is so high, people automatically get pulled towards the CEO, and whatever he says is taken by every and each of his subordinates with love and respect, and the work is done. Those who have achieved Nashkarma Siddhi, they hardly do any work. So, as far as today's lecture is concerned, I am limiting it to these 2 points only. And whenever it is possible for me to speak again, then I will communicate with you on other issues. My request to you is, be something such that people love you, otherwise you have wasted your life. You don't deserve anything. Similarly, in my next lectures, I would like to concentrate that neither you die nor you take birth. Neither you have come from somewhere nor you will go somewhere. But this is the stage of emancipation. So when I will establish this dialogue, then I will really illustrate you that neither you were born nor you will die. Neither you came from anywhere nor you will go anywhere. But emancipation will take place actually. It is a symptom of emancipation. So now I request Mr. Prashant to close down the camera. And thanks a lot, and my wishes and my prayers are due for all of you who are listening me and are not listening me, so that you people can have satisfactory, wonderful, enjoyable life and relations. Thank you very much.